My name's Steve and I love people who make things.
You might need to take off your trousers, and we see...
A number of times people have asked me to take off my trousers in a workshop hand. They sit at the heart of our communities, spreading wealth across the country.
I look forward to Mondays.
I love Mondays too.
And I'm going to die here. I'm never going to retire.
The isolation is great. No crowds apart from the tourists and sheep.
And the occasional podcaster like me. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
These are uncertain economic times. Keep our manufacturers alive and we'll thrive.
We all learn how to do everything here because there's so few of us left.
It is becoming a little harder to get young kids out of college that want to get their hands dirty and learn some of these very traditional art forms.
Join me as we compile a list of the greatest items made in the UK and hear stories from inside our factories.
My father has a phrase, he said, you should plan like you're going to live forever and live like you're going to die tomorrow, which I think is a very good way of looking at it.
We need you to live much longer than that, Martin. Welcome to the factory next door and welcome back to the centre of Sheffield. You find me on a street corner. Well, actually, I'm sat on the curb edge. Now, I often get asked how we pick the products to celebrate on this series, and there is actually a criteria. I should maybe I'll publish it on the show's LinkedIn page. In terms of finding the companies, often it's a lot of searching the web, Googling, sometimes recommendations. Sometimes companies reach out directly to me, and then occasionally, very, very occasionally, you're just driving by a building and you read the sign on the side of the factory and you think, wow, that just sounds interesting, which is the reason why we are sat looking at an old brick building painted very dark grey. And on the side of the building it says, Thomas Flinn & Co. Saw Manufacturers. And there's a big steel door which I am going to bang my fist on now. Whilst I do that, you have a listen to what's coming up in today's show.
You know, most of my family lived in slum back-to-back housing until my grandfather's days, and then sadly got run over by a tram.
What do you think it'd make of Thomas Flinn & Co. now? It's so simple, but there's a real beauty and the purity to this machine.
Simple but clever, yes. You'd be surprised how many musical saws are used in like the soundtracks for films.
Oh my word, that's outrageous. Look at the teeth on this one. When I ask this question, don't hit me, Katie.
If we're lost, you've lost it all. That skill's gone from Britain.
That is a revelation. I will not see a saw in the same light after that.
Kate Ellis, director of Thomas Flinn & Co. Limited.
Okay, Katie, it's already very noisy. Give me a little idea of where we are.
So we're just entering the factory area. This is outside of the yard at the moment. It's a bit of a courtyard area, and then you walk in and there's a workshop, and we've got a noisy wood shop that you can hear to the left. And then we have a warehousing area where we do sort of packing, laser marking and the finishing of the handles. And then we have a wood shop. Like you said, that's where the noise is.
Ah, so that's why it was super noisy back there. That we were next to the wood shop.
We were, yeah.
Okay. No, it's much quieter in here. Tell me about this room.
So basically this is where a lot of the material comes in and will be processed. So it could be chopped to length. So there's like a guillotine, there's press tools. Sharpening and setting of saws also happens in here. This is Christian, he's my brother.
Christian, very nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Yeah, great, thank you.
So what strikes me about this amazing room that we're stood in at the moment is the sheer variety of machines and I'm guessing their age.
Approximately 80 years old, I'm guessing. So yeah, there's a lot of cutting and shaping goes on in this room.
One of the things that I spot is you've got these wheels of steel, spools of steel, a bit like cotton thread spools, but much bigger. This would be the birth of a saw.
Yes, this is how it all starts. It all starts in coil form. All arrives on pallets, as you're seeing here.
Where are you getting the steel from?
This is European at the moment. We no longer make this steel in the UK until recently. So we have to do what we have to do.
Okay, talk me through the process of making a saw.
So this is a two of the machine.
It's that classic green lurk. I mean, it's up on legs, little motor on the side. And then there's, I assume, is there just a tiny little...
Triangular punch in there, punch in bed. Do you want me to fire it up?
Yeah, come on, we want to hear this. We want to hear it.
Gear wheel at the back, and that dictates how many teeth are on the saw. So we can change that gear wheel and change the number of teeth.
It's so simple, but there's a real beauty and the purity to this machine.
Simple but clever, yes.
I wonder how many teeth you've punched on this machine.
Oh, millions. Millions, yes.
Started in 1923. The guy that obviously started it was Thomas Flinn. My grandfather became his apprentice. We think he was about sort of 14 when he became his apprentice. He bought him out by 1936.
You've come prepared with archive photos.
I know. Yeah, so basically would have been like a real workshop on the ground floor, living space upstairs, probably very dirty.
Yeah, your black and white photo here is kind of, old brick building,
Yeah.
small windows, and as you say, workshop downstairs,
Yeah.
living quarters upstairs.
So during the 80s, we were in an area called Broom Hall. But yeah, and then we moved to this building where we are now in about 2001.
So you've been here 20 years, 20 plus years.
Yeah, just over. Yeah, we've outgrown it. We also bought a hand plane company, the Clifton Hand Planes, in 2014. So that's that's in a different building. We have to utilise space in a different building for that. So it's a little bit awkward because obviously we're operating over two sites.
So are you the last hand plane manufacturer in Britain?
And hand saw manufacturer.
And hand saw
When we say
manufacturer.
manufacturer, we mean making mass. There's people who make the odd bespoke 1 or 2 items a week. We consider them to be makers. We are manufacturers.
So we're sat in your office at the moment. One of the things that's very striking sat in your office here is all the old photocopied prints you've got kind of around the wall.
Yeah, because I did a lot of research for when we had our centenary year. So basically, the picture on the wall is my great-great-grandfather. He was actually the president of what we call the Saw Grinders Union, so the Edge Tool Grinders Union.
Wow. What do you think he'd make of Thomas Flinn and co now?
I hope he'd be very proud. Yeah. I might have seen it continued in a totally different way, perhaps, to he would have been experiencing. He'd have been working in the grinding wheels, getting really dirty in a horrible environment, probably long days, probably not great pay. Most of my family lived in slum back-to-back housing until my grandfather's days, and he was the only one who got out of the back-to-back housing. He was one of 12 kids. So for him to get out of it and buy a business, I personally feel he succeeded greatly. So yeah, it's good.
And the photo is...
Yeah, he looks
dressed,
very dapper.
He looks very dapper, dressed in his suit.
Yeah.
Looking off camera, sat on a...
Yeah.
Looks kind of like a bamboo armchair, maybe.
Yeah. And then sadly he got run over by a tram. Tragic end.
So yeah, that's how we produce stuff in coil.
It's so beautiful.
Depending what saw we're making, the next thing to do from there would be to put the set on. So this is a setting machine.
What do we talk about
So
by the set?
puts the clearance on. So we have hammers that hit the teeth alternate ways, just to provide a little bit of clearance to stop the saw from binding during cutting.
Ooh, I'm lost. Talk it through me again, sorry.
So if you didn't put set on the saw, as you cut through the piece of wood, it would jam in the wood.
Okay, I think I understand that. And how do you do that then?
So it comes through here in coil, just like it has here. What we have here, this feeds it through. It picks up 1 tooth at a time, and then these are the hammers here on each side. And as this feeds it now, then the hammer comes in. That hits one side, it feeds again. And then this hammer comes in and hits the other tooth in the opposite direction.
So you've got the little 2 hammers either side, and it's punching it alternatively.
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
And that prevents the saw from jamming when you're cutting.
I'll bring you a bit of blade and I'll show you.
Oh, he's run off. He's back.
So now we have that. So you can feel the...
Let me have a feel. Ah, I see what you mean.
If you look on the underside,
yeah.
there's a bit of a shadow. Can you see the teeth
look at the blade. You can just see the teeth. They're not flat against the steel anymore. They're just slightly up and slightly down. That is a revelation. I will not see a saw in the same light after that.
I went to university after school, so obviously did my A-levels, and then I went to the University of Sheffield and I studied human communication science. And I decided I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. Definitely didn't want to do a master's. Felt a little bit disheartened by the university system, if I'm going to be honest. Decided I didn't want to be a number in a system, like in a big organisation, and I wanted to be able to do something a bit more where I had an impact, basically. So came to work here mainly to help out, and then just decided that there was things that I could do that were different to my dad's generation. So obviously I've basically developed most of the website stuff. So obviously that's when I've created the retail side of the business. So which has been really beneficial because, again, getting your products out there worldwide is a lot easier online these days than it was sort of 30 years ago. And that has been the key reason why we've kept going, I would say, in many ways.
And have you been manufacturing? Mm-hmm. Have you been manufacturing the same type of saws effectively throughout your entire history?
I would say not, no. So if you speak to my dad, in his early days, he'd have had a lot of trade from like butchers, bow saws, that sort of thing. He used to go around every weekend and pick up saw sharpenings from the local butchers. That trade isn't there anymore because obviously butchers don't exist like they used to. They probably don't do their own butchering, they probably send it out or whatever. Supermarkets have taken over that trade. So in terms of that sort of thing, that's gone. He would have also done some items with plastic handles. That's something that, as we explained to you before, the cheap imports that started to come in the 70s and the 80s can't keep up. We can't compete with that sort of market. So we've moved away. We bought out the premium brand. So we got the Pax brand, we got the Lynx brand from the Garlic Saw Company. And then we've also bought Robertson Lee, which was a saw company based down in Enfield. So that was another saw manufacturer that we've got, and another brand that we wanted to continue. All high-end brands, which has been better for us. So it means that we can make something a bit more niche market. It's a higher priced item. It's better. We're not competing with the Far East imports.
Hi, I want to jump in here and give a shout out to our show's partner, a company that has a long history of helping manufacturers optimise their operations. AVEVA is a leader in industrial intelligence and was founded almost 50 years ago in Cambridge. Its software connects and empowers people to improve plant productivity, sustainability and business agility. And if you're interested in manufacturing, which I'm guessing you are if you're hanging out with me, AVEVA's got a newsletter. Please do sign up to it. Go to www.aveva.com/factory. I'll put the website in the show notes. My thanks to AVEVA for supporting our manufacturers and our show.
So the hand saws, we've got the hand saws done, and then it all comes here and we do the hand filing. So all the saws at this point are hand filed, so we've got a variety of different shapes and sizes of files depending on what tooth size we're doing.
How long is it going to take to file a saw?
Should we do one?
Do one, I'll time you.
Well, just give me a sec, I'll just go and get a blade.
Okay, Christian's come back, having a little feel of the teeth.
Yep.
Putting it in a vise.
So it's 10-inch saw, 20 TPI, so there's like 200 teeth on there. Not warmed up today, it's my first one of the day.
Wow, that was super quick. Katie was timing that. 1:38 that was. 200 teeth quicker than my son brushes his teeth. I don't know if you heard, but in a recent episode I was chatting with Mary, whose company makes oak-framed homes. And one of the many really interesting things I had discussing with her was she said she did feel slightly ignored. She felt recent policy decisions left her wondering whether the government kind of cared whether their company lived or died.
I agree. The current situation as it stands now, putting the wages up, putting the national insurance up, it's a bit of a nail in the coffin for a lot of people. I mean, we've been okay, but for companies that I deal with, that's not been a good thing. I've got a lot of uncertainty. You put uncertainty there, you've got an unstable market. People don't go out and spend £300-400 on a hand tool because they're worrying about paying their winter fuel or the mortgage now.
Is there, and it might not be as simple as this, but is there one thing that could be done that you would be like, yes, at least you're stepping in the right direction, at least you're taking us in the right direction, at least you're signalling to us that you value small, medium-sized businesses and manufacturers across the country?
One thing, cutting taxes probably would be your first port of call, because I do believe that you lower corporation tax, you get more people willing to invest, you get more people willing to employ. Then it's a knock-on effect. So you actually then produce more, you sell more, you actually put more tax back into the system. But yeah, I think for us, especially being a heritage company as well, is if we're lost, you've lost it all. That skill's gone from Britain.
When I ask this question, don't hit me, Katie. Why does it matter that we protect heritage crafts and heritage manufacturers?
Because if you don't have those skills, you can't make things anymore. So if you can't show someone, or it's not just a saw, it could be anything, it could be steel, it could be tanks, it could be whatever. If you lose your self-reliance and you're reliant on somebody else to do it for you, it's not great, is it?
Have you ever contemplated just walking away from it all?
No, it's my livelihood. I'm too invested. Yeah.
So while you're firing up the machine to laser etch your saws, I've got two questions.
Yeah.
One is, what's the gentleman doing back there? Constantly blowing.
He's spraying lacquer onto the handles, so he's spraying the handles.
Oh, he's lacquering the handles.
Yeah.
And the other is, why do you have boxes of Lego under your workbench here? Is that just something to entertain you at lunchtime?
Well, yeah, maybe. No, what we use the Lego for is to we make jigs out of the Lego to hold the blades. So we'll have multiple blades in the machine at any one time. And what's more accurate than Lego?
So by a jig, you mean like a stand for the blade?
Yes. So it places the blade in the correct position every time.
The wonders of Lego.
Yes.
The blade goes into the laser machine, sits on the Lego, and we see a little green laser etching into the steel. Wow, that was quick. I mean, it's a really very intricate design etched onto the blade, and it took like a couple of seconds.
Yeah. So that's a handsaw. All it requires then is its handle putting on. So we've got a batch of handles here.
You've got boxes of handles here, very pretty handles. What kind of wood is this?
So that's beech. So that's a beech with a two-tone finish.
They feel good in your hand, don't they?
And then we do. Hang on, let me show you these ones. Let me just grab these ones out of here for you, just so. So feel that one. Feel that. That's walnut. And feel that. Feel the weight difference in that.
Oh wow.
That's rosewood.
Oh, you've got some hanging up. Ready. Oh my word, that's outrageous. Look at the teeth on this one.
That's a one-man saw, cutting logs.
Cutting logs. I think you can probably cut through anything with that, can't you?
Well, yeah.
The teeth on that are vicious.
Yeah, yeah.
And is this one here, which is quite a long saw?
Yes.
What is that, kind of?
30 inch.
30 inches.
That's 30-inch musical saw.
I was just about to say, it looks a musical saw.
Yes.
I only know that because it's printed melody is etched on the side of it.
Yeah.
How does that work? Can you play the musical saw? Give us a demonstration.
I can't play it. No, I can't.
You're being modest. Give us a demonstration.
Well, the only time I've tried, I couldn't get any noise out of it. So, yeah.
In theory, how does it work?
In theory, so you would hold the handle between your legs, and then use a bow, same as you'd use for a violin, and then you curve the blade into like an S shape, and then rub the bow along the back edge of the saw, and that will create the noise. And then you vary the pitch or the note by how you vary the bend in the saw. Yeah.
You're demonstrating
So
the
this-
saw and how flexible it is.
It's a thinner saw than a regular hand saw.
Now, I might be making a big assumption here, Christian, but do you sell many musical saws?
Yeah, we do sell a few. Yeah, we sell a few. I mean, it's never going to be a big market, but yeah, you'd probably be surprised. I mean, I'm not musical myself, but yeah, I mean, if people play, string instruments or whatever, and they're just looking for a different sound if they're making a piece of music, or you'd be surprised how many musical saws are used in like the soundtracks for films. That haunting sort of sound, and people like the band Keane have used them in their music. It's probably you probably heard a musical saw more than what you realise.
Hi, my name's Leo and my dad is Steve, host of this show. People often don't realise he does the factory next door all by himself. The recording, the editing, even the illustrations on Instagram. He's mildly talented, but he still needs a large amount of external validation. I guess as he grows up, he'll learn to be more self-confident like me. But until then, it'd be great if you could star the show on Apple or Spotify. Maybe even leave a nice review. Thanks! I'll let you get back to the show now.
I'm very, very encouraged to hear that you're needing new premises and expanding to new premises.
Yeah, we need more space, basically. We do make a lot more of the bigger saws. So the bigger saws take up a lot more space for warehousing, for moving goods around, for storing the steel. We're in a position where we can stockhold a lot more steel, a lot more brass. We need the space, basically, for production to be better, and potentially put the hand planes also in the same building with us, which would be easier logistically. So that would be better. We do want to move if we find the right place. So, yeah.
Would you move out of Sheffield?
No. I am made in Sheffield through and through. That is what I stand for.
Too right.
I know.
Who are you selling to? And I mean consumers, but actually markets as well.
Consumers, what the type of people that we're selling to, hobbyists, a lot of retired people might take, woodworking. We have a lot of doctors, surgeons, that kind of thing, where they love to do that in their spare time, is go in their garage and make stuff. We have, true professionals like carpenters, cabinet makers, furniture makers, people who really, really like nice tools because they're making amazing product, basically. So yeah, that's what we try to do. But in terms of countries we sell to, USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Spain, France, Ireland. I've done some to Finland, some done to Sweden, a little bit to South Korea, previously Russia, all over.
Can you imagine a scenario where you are no longer the only saw manufacturer in Britain, i.e. others come back?
I can't imagine it. To be considered a proper manufacturer as well, to get the numbers, to get back to doing that, I think they would probably struggle. Yeah, they'd have tough competition as well with me.
You don't want to go into competition with Katie, do you?
No.
Katie, thank you so much for taking the time to show me around.
That's all right. I hope you had fun.
I loved it.
Oh, good.
Okay, into our shed of greatness goes the musical saw by Thomas Flinn and Co. My thanks to Katie, Christian and the whole team there for showing us around their workshops. If you want to hear a musical saw, here you go. This is the Yorkshire musical sawman who uses Thomas Flinn saws. Google him. Have a longer listen. Okay, let's agree to meet up again in 2 weeks' time for number 40 on our list. We'll be hooking up in the northeast. In the meantime, say hello on Instagram or LinkedIn. Always love exchanging messages. Just search for The Factory Next Door. For now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're happy. Until next time. Bye. A final shout out to our show's partner, AVEVA, a company that has a long history of helping manufacturers optimise their operations. It's a leader in industrial intelligence and was founded almost 50 years ago in Cambridge. Its software connects and empowers people to improve plant productivity, sustainability and business agility. If you're interested in manufacturing, which I'm guessing you are if you're hanging out with me, AVEVA's got a newsletter. Please do sign up to it. Go to www.aveva.com/factory. Just a reminder, I'll put the website in the show notes. My thanks to AVEVA for supporting our manufacturers and for supporting our show.